Hey guys, welcome back to Maelstrom Gaming Studios. I'm Craig.
And I'm Connor.
And today we have a Tyranid deep dive for you guys. We're going over two of the newest models to the Tyranid codex range.
Yeah.
I say those with air quotes because if any of you are not aware, these are our two newest monsters. They were 7 years ago.
2014.
2014, October 2014. So yay. Anyway, we're going to go over a deep dive with these guys. I paired these two together because they fill a very similar role, and they are a close combat monster.
Right.
Which
very dedicated.
Is very dedicated to what their role, and they target the same enemy more so.
Oh yeah, true.
And they're about the same point cost. The only big difference is one is an elite and one is a heavy support.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
We're going to go through all of those. We're going to go over the data sheets, the profiles, that's the same thing, some adaptive physiologies, high fleets, all of the good stuff to know how to get the most out of your Toxicrene and your Haruspex, and maybe if you should try using these or maybe stay away from them until we get some better love for them.
Right.
But we'll get the most out of this codex. If you guys are looking forward to it, please subscribe for more Tyranid content and everything else Warhammer 40k that we cover here. Like the video to let us know that you are enjoying this and you want to see more of it. And also, we are almost, maybe we're there when you see this, to 1,000 subscribers, which is our big milestone. We will be doing a nice celebration video, something special for you guys who have been there from the beginning, and look forward to that coming up in the future. With all that being said, let's dive into the video.
Let's.
In this video, we're going over the model profiles, like I said, Haruspex and the Toxicrene. There are a few adaptive physiologies to consider. There are a few stratagems that you might want to also consider that are important with these models. We'll go over our tactics for each of them. Those will consist of play styles, what high fleets to consider, things like that.
Sure.
And we'll wrap it up all at the end with a nice conclusion on what we think of these two big, multi-limbed,
True.
tongue-ish boys.
Squiggly boys.
Squiggly boys,
yeah.
In many ways.
Yeah.
So first, the Haruspex, the man of many tongues.
Nice.
He comes in at 170 points, which is expensive, but not crazy.
The stats, I think.
The stats are, most of the stats stack up to that point cost.
Yeah.
He moves 7, which is okay.
It's okay.
It's a little faster than average, but it's still slow for a big monster.
Slower than you want him to be.
Yeah. The biggest hurt is his weapon skill. And not only the fact that it starts at 4, but it does degrade down to 5. It doesn't go to 6, which is great.
That's a weird degradation chart.
It's nice it doesn't go 4, 5, 6. It goes 4, 4, 5, which some of the Tyranid monsters do that, which is nice.
I didn't know that, actually.
I don't know if other codexes do this, but there are a lot of Tyranid monsters that don't do a standard degradation.
Okay.
Ballistic skill, we don't really care about it. Sure, his tongue, it might get you something, but we don't care too much. Strength, again, it doesn't really matter with this model. It just, maybe you'll wound some things on 2s and some things on 3s.
Maybe if you're in bottom bracket, it will affect it a little.
A little, but really,
Not much.
that's the, out of all the things to degrade, that's the best one that we could take. That and the ballistic skill. So
yeah.
Toughness stays firm at 8, which is a huge plus in today's meta with multi-melt as being so common as they are.
Yeah.
And side cannons now from the Grey Knights being toughness 8 or strength 8. Toughness 8 is a big savior for this model.
Yeah.
He does come in at a rare 13 wounds.
Which is higher than the Swarm Lord.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Swarm Lord's a little low on his wounds, but
weird. Yeah.
And he has 4 attacks, which seem low, but he's got rules to make that better.
Okay.
Leadership 6, we don't care about that, and a 3-up save, which is very standard for the Tyranids.
Yeah.
Again, we'll go over some of his weapons. He's got his tongue, which is a 12-inch range tongue, quite the tongue. 1 shot, strength 6, AP minus 3, D3 damage. The way it works is you can shoot this, and if you kill somebody with it, you get a wound back.
And you can shoot it in
combat. Now,
as well.
this is worded for 8th edition because we're an 8th edition codex, but technically 9th edition rules as written, you can already do that.
Oh, right.
Because he's a monster. So
okay.
This is one of the few things GW didn't FAQ out. Normally they just like ignore this because it's already in the rules, but
I suppose they don't really need to.
They don't, yeah.
What's the difference,
Now, so to get his attacks from 4 to a lot higher, he has his Ravenous Maw, which is what you're going to be using most of the time, I think. So with this, you make D3 attacks for every attack that he has. So he's got 4 attacks, that's 4 D3 attacks.
So an average of 8.
8 attacks.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Web skill 4+, so but there's, again, we've got ways to work with that.
Okay.
AP -1 is okay. D3 damage is fine, a little swingy, but it's fine. And then he has his Shoveling Claws, which are strength ×2, which is why the strength doesn't matter too much that it's degrading.
Right, because you're pretty much any tank is 3s no matter what.
Yeah. You would be wounding some tanks on 2s at your top bracket.
True.
But without, it's okay.
Iron Striders and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AP -3, great. D6 damage, swingy, but still high potential.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of special rules here.
Yeah.
His first one is Acid Blood, so each time the model loses a wound in the fight phase, roll a die, and on a 6, the opponent takes a mortal wound. It's fine. You're rarely going to get it go off because it's on a 6.
And you don't want to rely on...
You don't want to rely on dying to 2 damage, yeah. His Rampacious Hunger is a great one. So this is kind of the key thing to the Haruspex. This is what makes him a little bit better. Is that each time the Haruspex slays an enemy model with his Ravenous Maw, he can immediately make an extra attack with the Shoveling Claws. In addition, at the end of the fight phase, in which a Haruspex slay any models with the Ravenous Maw, it can regain 1 wound lost earlier in battle. Only 1. So you just have to kill a model to gain a wound.
With the weaker weapon.
With the weaker weapon. So the way you want to do this is you put...
Interesting.
And we'll talk about this in the tactics more, so really... You want to target multiple things, but again, we'll get this into the tactics section. Finally, Death Frenzy, or Frenzied Death Throws. His explosion, or Super Frenzy, is that he does a flat 3 mortal wounds on 6 when he dies, which is great.
Yeah.
3 mortal wounds is a lot.
There's not a auto explode.
We do not have an auto. We have a fight when you die.
Yeah.
But
maybe in the new
that'd be
codex.
Cool. I would love something like that. Just send my little Carnifexes in to go
explode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we will go over the Toxicrene.
Yeah.
Similar, but they do have a few differences.
Yeah. So Toxicrene's 150 points, so 20 points less.
A little cheaper.
Movement of 8, an extra inch over the other guy. Now his weapon skill, strength, and attacks degrade. So his weapon skill is 3 to 4 to 5.
Yep.
So starts better than the other guy, ends up in the same place. Ballistic skill 4+, not a huge deal, but you do have a gun.
You do have some shootings, yeah.
Strength starts at 7 to 6 to 5. Toughness 7, so a little less tanky. Starts at 12 wounds, and its attacks are 6, 5, 4, and his leadership is 7 across the board. So he's higher leadership, lower toughness.
Yeah.
A little different weapon skill and movement.
And 3 of save.
And 3 of save.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's equipped with Choking Spores and Massive Toxic Lashes, which we'll go over now. Choking Spores is your gun, or one of your 2 guns.
Yeah, he's got his dedicated weapon.
Dedicated weapon. So it's a 12-inch range, Assault D6, which... Okay. All right.
Yep.
Strength 3, AP 0, D3 damage. Does have a little ability.
It is Blast.
It's Blast. You can reroll failed wound rolls for this weapon. In addition, units attacked by this weapon do not gain any bonus to their saving throws for cover.
So this weapon in 7th edition used to be a large blast template.
Oh, I remember that.
Which was kind of fun. It's just not good. It's really not good.
I mean, strength 3, AP 0. Why is there D3 damage on it? You know?
It's the poison.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the poison that's doing the D3 damage.
Okay.
It's nice you can shoot in combat, and you are going up against, well, again, we'll talk about tactics, but you are going up against infantry with this guy.
That's true.
So if you're going over against things like your
AdMech, Eldar.
Your AdMech, your Eldar, your lighter infantry, this will be doing damage. Even the Sisters of Battle, this will be doing some damage to them.
Yeah, but then you can, is it replace it with, or no, he also just has the lashes.
So he also has Toxic Lashes, which have a shooting and a melee profile.
Oh, I see. And these are his tentacles.
Yes, these are the obnoxious tentacles.
As far as the model.
Yes, as far as the model is.
Yeah. So it's an 8-inch range, Assault D6 again. Strength user, so that's nice. Starts at 7. AP -2, D3 damage. You can reroll failed wound rolls for this as well.
Yes.
So that's better.
Yes, that's
a good gun.
It's not bad.
The Assault D6 is okay.
Swingy
again, but that's like a lot of stuff here. Solid gun. And finally we have the real showstopper here, the massive Toxic Lashes in melee. Strength user, so 7, 6, 5. AP -2, solid. D3 damage, still swinging.
Swingy, but you know.
And what is the, you want to explain this?
Yeah, there's a lot of rules with this. So again, reroll failed wound rolls, that's a thing with the Toxicrene.
Just reroll all your wound rolls.
And then the model armed with this weapon, he's the only one with this weapon, so I don't know, can always fight first in the fight phase, even if it didn't charge.
Well, that's good.
So that is a nice thing with the Toxicrene.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of abilities too, if you want to keep going on to them.
Yeah, he has Acid Blood, which we already went over. That's when he takes a wound on a 6, you deal a mortal wound.
Yes.
Then we have Hypertoxic Miasma, which is exclusive to him. At the end of the fight phase, roll a d6 for each enemy model within 1 inch of any Toxicrenes. On a 6, that model's unit suffers another mortal wound.
So again, it's on a 6 though. So he's got a lot of ways to potentially deal mortal wounds.
On 6s though. And then he has Frenzied Death Throws, which is the 3 mortal wound explosion when he dies on a 6.
Yes. So they got a lot, both of these models have a lot of rules to them.
Yeah.
This one has got a lot of re-rolling, which is nice. It does make the Toxicrene a little bit more consistent.
Especially in melee. I mean, that melee is nothing to laugh at.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
So those are the data sheets.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go over some adaptive physiologies and some stratagems, ways to kind of bring these guys up, because they're so-so.
Data sheets are not great.
They're okay.
This might make them better.
These will. So adaptive physiologies. You might want to include these, you might not. They will take these models to the next level.
Yeah.
But it's, do you want to use one of your 2 adaptive physiologies on one of these cheaper models? Which it's a toss-up.
Depends on the list, of course.
It depends on the list. Yeah. So I'll go over them. Dermic Symbiosis, we all know it. 5-up, feel no pain, or 5-up invuln save, sorry, and doubling the wound bracket.
As far as attacks are...
all of his things. So the attacks, the strength, the whatever, the movement, not movement.
Good.
So that's great. That gives them some good durability.
Totally.
Murderous Size does wonders as well on both of these models. So now +1 strength to your Haruspex. That Ravenous Maw is now strength 8.
And then it makes his smaller thing.
That's the smaller, the tongue, all the tongues. The Ravenous Maw is now strength 8.
Yeah.
It is now damage D3 +1. So it always does 2 damage minimum. And the AP is now AP -2.
Wow, that makes them significantly better.
That makes that attack. Likewise on the Toxicrene. Now, one thing I will mention with the Toxicrene, GW will not answer my little FAQ questions for whatever reason. I've been emailing about this for a while.
Have you really?
Yes.
Nice.
Murderous Size is applied to a melee weapon. However, the Toxic Lashes is the same weapon with a melee and a shooting profile.
Surprised they haven't answered this.
I have always played it as just affecting the melee profile, even though that makes no sense. It should affect the same, it's the same tentacle.
I think rules as written, that is the right way to do it though, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but still, +1 strength, so now you're strength 8 or 7 or 6.
I think that's huge on the Toxicrene.
You're doing damage D3 +1.
Huge.
And AP -3.
Makes him a lot better.
Very terrifying.
Yeah.
So you're trading off between Dermic Symbiosis and Murder Size. Do you want
damage,
some durability, or do you just want to go all out on damage? I personally On the Toxicrene, I love Murderous Size on it.
I think it's the step above.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, another contender is Accelerated Digestion. Heal up to 3 wounds if you kill 3 models in combat. I will pin a video, I guess it's above my head this time.
Nice.
I did 5 power combos in the Tyranid Codex.
Yep.
And this specifically you can pair with the Haruspex. Because he already has 2 ways to heal a wound back.
He has the tongue attack
and just killing something in combat.
Killing something.
Now if he kills 3 models in combat, that's 4 wounds, plus 1 for the tongue. And you could take a custom hive fleet to heal a wound at the start of every turn.
How many heals is that? 5?
That's 6 wounds. And you could pay 2 command points to heal D3 wounds.
Woo!
So you can heal up to 8 wounds in 1 turn.
6 to 8 wounds in 1 turn if you kill 3 models.
3 models.
Huh. That's over half of his.
So that one's fun because you almost don't even care about having a feeling of pain if you can protect him or get him in combat or in invuln save, I should say.
Yeah.
Because now you're healing up half his wounds every turn.
Yeah.
And he doesn't bracket the worst.
No, not the worst.
Not the worst. And the stratagems will make him seem even better. Okay. So again, Accelerated Digestion also does work on the Toxicrene because he does have a lot of attacks.
But you might as well double up on the heals with the Haruspex.
Yeah, definitely do that. It's just, when I play, I prefer Accelerated Digestion on the Haruspex just for the memes of healing so many wounds in 1 turn.
And I mean, it makes
it can do well.
Like,
it can do well.
If you're already healing, why not go for
Go
more?
all for it.
Yeah.
And on the Toxicrene, I do like the Murderous Size a lot.
Yeah. All
out on the damage.
So the trade-off there is that you're not putting Murderous Size on a Hive Tyrant, but
on a Hive Tyrant or
others.
On... you're not putting Dermic Symbiosis on one of your big bugs, your Exocrines, or your Scythe Hero Duels, your Barbed Hero Duels.
But it is worth, if you're going to use one of these, probably do
I like them, yeah. Now the stratagems, which again, really make these things sing. The first one for the Toxicrene is Grasping Tendrils out of Blood a Ball. 2+ for infantry, 3+ for vehicles. It prevents the enemy from falling back. It's 1 command point.
You have to roll a 2+.
You have to roll a 2+. I have rolled 1 before, plenty of times. But you really shouldn't be going up against tanks with this because he'll hurt lightly armored tanks, but not anything too strong.
His points come from the infantry killing.
Yes. So you get up to an infantry and you want to just not quite kill all of them. Leave 1 alive, or 2 alive depending on morale, and then you can pay 1 command point and lock him in there and he's safe from shooting for the next turn. Wow. It's very powerful on a Toxicrene.
I mean, improves his survivability so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the next ones, and we'll pretty much all go on to the Haruspex. Okay. First one, Feeding the Hunger. 1 command point to reroll all failed hit rolls, which helps out that 4+ weapon skill a lot. Right. The next one, Voracious Appetite, can't technically go on the Toxicrene, but you already reroll failed wound rolls, so you don't need it. Yep. Voracious Appetite, reroll failed wound rolls. So now for 2 command points, your Haruspex is rerolling failed hit and wound rolls. Oh, okay. And then the last one, just a little extra, Grisly Feast, +1 to enemies' morale tests if they're within 6 inches of the Haruspex. So if you killed a bunch of stuff. Killed a bunch of them and they are right on the brink of rolling, you could probably force them to fail or something. You could force them to pay 2 command points to auto pass or make it so they need a 1 in 6 chance to pass. Interesting. It does make the Haruspex CP hungry. Yeah. But if you're in the right matchup, that thing can feast and really do the damage to a lot of units. Makes them worth 170 points if you use this stuff effectively, I feel like. It just, you have to do it in order to really sell. So, tactics, we've kind of dabbled here and there, but we'll go over them all back to back here for the Toxicrene. These are your main ideas for them. So we've got, Toxicrenes are all about combat, of course, as you can tell from the model. Large tentacles. Large tentacles. So they move quickly with 8 inches. Definitely that's quick. Benefit with the Swarm Lord's Hive Commander ability. Basically gives them a 6-inch move plus charge. 16. 16, thank you. 16-inch movement. Plus charge, and then, I actually didn't read the sentence, I was about to say it anyways, but stack it with Onslaught, I mean... Advance and charge on top of that. It's like a 20-inch threat range before charge. Yes. You know? Yeah, absolutely. Focus on troop choice infantry. They can kill tanks, as we said, especially with Murderous Size, but
they will just swallow smaller infantry whole.
And you can lock them up in combat.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go up against, it's important to say, I don't know if I put it in here. Yeah, you don't want to go up against anything that's going to hit back hard in combat. Because they don't have an influence and everything, I would be wary about going into large squads of Terminators, Blade Guard Veteran, without support, because they will hit the Blade Guard Veteran hard. But if it's a max squad of 5 or 6 of them, I would only count on them killing 2 or 3 of them.
Half as much as normal.
And they're going to hit back, and they're going to probably chop half your wounds off.
Yeah.
So you just stay away from the dedicated combat threats.
If there's big squads of weaker infantry,
that's what you want.
That's 100% of your target.
That's what you want. Skitarii.
Lock them in.
The Skitarii Vanguard squads.
Yeah.
You want to be going after those with this guy.
Specifically because of that stratagem.
You will kill, yes, you will only kill maybe a third of the squad.
But that's good.
But you keep them locked in, and then your next turn you can shoot them twice, and you can fight them. Yeah, and it basically negates one of their best units for a while.
True.
You just got to get them to combat.
Yeah. And finally, the High Fleet doesn't really matter that much.
No, these guys are very plug and play.
Yeah, cool. Jormungandr and Leviathan for durability. Behemoth and Kraken for speed, which is, applies to most stuff in the Tyranid.
Whatever you want, yeah.
Yeah.
Haruspex, again, we did talk about this, and I will have that video pinned. They are decent. 7-inch movement, not as great. They can also benefit from Swarmlord. I think both of these are great targets for the Swarmlord.
Totally.
14-inch move, not quite as fast, but this one's combat is different. You want to target, this thing was designed to go after Imperial Guard. You want to target, if you can, multi-charge tanks and infantry.
Right.
Because his bonus attacks go into those big anti-tank claws.
Right.
You want to try and kill, kill 5 or 6 infantry, and then make 5 or 6 attacks with the big claws, because those stratagems still apply to the claws for the whole thing.
Right.
And then you could potentially do a bang bang and kill 2 of them.
So yeah, if you know you're playing against guard, do it.
These things are great for going after guard.
Yeah.
Power Commerce video, and again, like I said, the High Fleet doesn't matter too much on them. It's just it's your personal play style. Jormungandr, if you play him a little slower, give him the 2-up armor save. Leviathan to give him a 6-up feel no pain. Behemoth to reroll failed charges, and Kraken you can also reroll failed charges, but with the psychic power or your 3d6 advance.
Gotcha.
They are very similar. Just the way they do the killing is slightly different.
Slightly different targets.
But they are, I would almost say they're interchangeable.
Yeah, pretty close.
Pretty close. And that brings it to the conclusions.
Yeah.
I guess I could say I give them both a C, which sounds a little surprising because it sounds like maybe I hype them up a lot because I think they're cool. But
overall, in the Tyranid codex, competitively,
they just lack a little bit.
They lack something.
And it's each one. For the Toxicrene, they are cheap. They are simple troop hunters, which is important to 9th edition. Going after things that are going after those troops.
Especially in the new codexes, like the core is such a big. Your basic units are so important to every army now. Yeah,
those things are good. The problem. My biggest problem with the Toxicrene is that his degradation is so atrocious. It is the 3 worst things: your weapon skill, your strength, and your attacks.
Yikes.
As a combat threat, you don't want those to be degrading.
Most combat threats do not have all 3.
No, normally it's 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But all 3, this is the only one that has all 3 of those degrading.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
Is unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
Which makes you think, do you want to put the adaptive physiology to make him so you double your wounds, but you're spending that on a 150-point model?
It makes me want to take a Hive Tyrant instead.
I would.
With wings.
I think so.
I don't know.
But the Murder Size one is so fun. But it's only 150 points.
You can also put that on a Hive Tyrant though.
You can.
I don't know.
It's tough.
I agree with you on this one.
The stratagem is great though.
Yeah.
Keeping them. Maybe I'll try it. Unfortunately, like we've said in the past, Tyranids versus Admech is not a easy matchup for us to do because I play both.
We could try, I mean, I could try to learn some AdMech stuff and...
We'll play around.
I don't know.
We'll play around. But as I was making this video and thinking about the Toxicrene more and more, these things are nasty against the AdMech. If you can get them to combat a pair of Toxicrenes, which would be fun to do. I don't have two of them, but I want to, thinking about this. A pair of Toxicrenes going after Vanguard and Rangers would be scary.
Or even just being on the board, forcing your opponent to put them in an intelligent place.
You just have to, the problem is you got to keep them alive and you got to get them there.
Yeah.
With their massive tendrils, I play, mine are magnetized, so I just take them off when it comes to terrain because really you only care about the base size.
Yeah.
So I take them off when it really comes down to choosing.
Which is a bummer.
It's a bummer to have them, but the model's footprint is huge.
So enormous.
It's bigger than a Bane blade, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think those have a weird sweet spot against AdMech.
It's just getting them there with toughness 7 and no invuln.
If you go first, turn 1 charge is easy. Tyranids.
With Swarmy.
Having one model get a turn 1 charge is easy with Swarmy in your list.
And he's a great choice.
He's a great choice.
If you can get into a weaker infantry unit.
You just gotta, cause then, yeah.
Lock him up, stay in their face. Yeah.
Cause then you can kill him.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say it, cause you get in combat, kill, I don't know, you kill a third of them.
Sure.
Not even a third, maybe kill a fourth of a 20-man block.
Yeah.
You lock them up, maybe you take a wound or two, and then it's their turn, you kill maybe another 25% of them, so now they're down to half a unit.
Oh, cause you fight first.
Cause you'll fight first.
Cool.
And then it's your turn again, and you can shoot them twice, and maybe you'll kill a couple more of them, and then you can fight again. You'll fight first again because you have it built in.
Wow.
And you might
that is good.
be able to chew through just enough of them where you could consolidate out into another unit because you're going to be in the back line.
So it's a very specific thing.
Yeah.
But that is, I didn't even think about that. That's like 2 or 3 turns of you fighting first always.
Fighting them,
Unless you get charged, but I mean that's...
You get charged, but AdMech don't, then AdMech are dedicating their threats to just stay in the center of the table. And,
right.
Yeah. Haruspex is the same.
I'd say, you don't think Toxicrenes are a little stronger?
It goes back and forth.
Yeah, it does.
The Haruspex is toughness 8, which...
And it hits vehicles better.
You can hit vehicles pretty hard, too.
Yeah.
But it's CP hungry.
Yeah.
You're not using any CP on the Haruspex outside of that one strat. Toxicrene. Yeah. Outside of that one strat, maybe once or twice a game.
Yeah.
And an occasional reroll. You take that thing in Behemoth, you're rerolling charges and wound rolls.
That's scary.
And the problem with the Haruspex, as much as I love the model, and everyone loves the model.
Oh yeah, it's so crazy.
He's just so CP hungry.
Yeah.
You have to build your army around the Haruspex if you're gonna bring one.
Maybe in the next, when the Tyranids finally get their full codex, maybe some of this stuff will be built in.
I would love to see some of it built in.
A little more expensive on the model, but maybe you get some of those rules just always.
If he could have built-in reroll hit rolls, keep him at weapon skill 4, but he rerolls his hit rolls.
Yeah, or maybe rerolls hit rolls against like certain targets
against
or
infantry,
yeah.
Or if he's outnumbered, or
something like that.
I think, and I also think these guys work really well in pairs. Taking 2 Toxicrenes or 2 Haruspexes work well in pairs because then you got to deal with. It's not just I killed the Toxicrene. Okay, I don't have to worry about it.
That unique threat is gone.
Yeah, I think pairs of them work wonders. Unfortunately, I can't run them in pairs because I don't have the models.
Yeah.
But I'll work on it.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd put them as if you're just playing a game for fun. You're not trying to go win a tournament. Use them. They're awesome. They're a lot of fun. If you're trying to win a tournament, stick to spending the extra points on a hero duel right now.
Yeah.
A hero duel they are more expensive, but a side hero duel is 85 points more than a Toxicrene, but I feel like you get...
Oh boy, does it do more.
I feel like it does a lot more.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you guys think of the Toxicrene and the Haruspex? Do you just use them for fun, like we were saying, or do you actually have some competitive work that you can get out of these models?
Maybe a list it works well in or something.
Maybe a list, tactics. Let us know in the comments. I love them, but they're tough right now. They're not in a great spot because like a lot of the things they did with Blood Ball, they gave us adaptive physiologies, which could bring up our bugs to be better than they are on the data sheet.
Right.
However, only allowing 2 of those in the game, you have to weigh which 2 bugs do you want to bring up to a competitive standard.
Yeah, it makes it tough. You have to make a lot of decisions as Tyranids.
We'll see. It sounds like we're going to get our holdover codex, if you want to call it that,
Supplement
in a month.
Yeah.
We will be looking at our supplement book, which is most likely going to be our codex for the next year or so. Hopefully it gives us something more.
Something good.
I don't really know what else I would change with these models. There's nothing wrong. I mean,
Just give them rules.
the Haruspex is CP hungry.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the Toxicrene. It's just the way he stands out. The way he... Oh, no. I would change the degradation of the Toxicrene. Make it so his weapons... It's his ballistic skill that goes down instead of his weapon skill.
Or just any of the 3, really.
Any of them.
Yeah,
any of them would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. That's our rant ramble, our deep dive on these 2 combat monsters. Let us know what you think. Subscribe for more content and help us get to that 1,000 mark and beyond. And let us know if you have other suggestions for videos down in the comments, because we are always looking at those and we will take them into thought when coming up with new videos for you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right.